So we got a new tablet. This is the Hotwave Tab R10 Pro, and I've already taken it out of the box. And I took this off. This little piece of paper here comes on the actual tablet, but it shows you some of the specs here. So it's a 10.1 inch display, a 10,800 milliamp battery, a 5 megapixel and a 13 megapixel camera, an octa-core processor. Now it says 20 gigs of RAM, but it's actually 8 gigs of RAM plus 12 gigs that you can turn some of the actual like solid state drive into memory. So it can do up to 12 gigs of that. So that's how they give you the 12 or the 20. So that's the extended. 256 gigs of internal storage. It's IP68, which is awesome, or IP69K. Now, I'm not 100% sure what IP69K is, but IP68, pretty good. Anyways, this is the box here that you get. Pretty standard. Again, I've done reviews on the actual Hot Waves before, and you know what? Well packaged. Comes with everything. This is kind of the stuff that comes in the box. You get this little handle that you can put on the back for holding it, which is cool. This little screwdriver is actually how you actually mount this onto the back. You get a little manual. You are, of course, USB to USB-A cable. I have another one in the box. I'm not 100% sure why I have another one. Oh, maybe this looks like maybe an extension. So if you actually want to turn it USB-C or USB-A to a USB-C, then you can stick this on there, and now you're USB-C to USB-C. So for those of us like myself that want to plug it into a power brick or something that needs that, good to go. These are your little handles that you screw on the back, your little screws. It looks like maybe a SIM card remover. Some cleaning wipes, because it does come also with a screen protector, which is pretty sweet. And you get this. Now, of course, European, it is what it is. This is I don't even know. My guess would be somewhere around 20. I don't have my glasses on. I need my glasses, you know? Let's try that again. Let's see. 10 watt. There you go. 10 watt. So I think this can actually charge a little faster. I think you can charge 18 watts. Anyways, that's what comes in the box. So very cool. Anyways, it's going to look a little smudgy, but this is it here. Yes? Let me just wipe this off a little bit. So like I said, it does come with a screen protector, which is kind of cool. I have it over there. I haven't put it on yet. Comes on it, but there you go. Little screen protector for those that want it. Excellent. There's your little front camera. They have the two little cameras on the back. So again, the front camera is going to be the smaller of the two. A little LED light, which is also good. You can, I believe, too, the SD card in here, or the micro SD card, allows you to upgrade the storage. You can put like a terabyte micro SD card in here. But anyways, you'll see at the bottom, everything has really nice seals. That's going to be your USB port, right? Again, a nice little seal on it. And then over here, you're going to have your, can that take a full size? Can that take a full size card? I'm curious now. Is that a full size card? Now I don't even know. I don't think so. TF, TF and a SIM card. Okay, so you can put those in there. It's got a very nice seal on it. There's your speakers on that side, speakers on this side, your power button, and then your volume rockers up and down. Very nice. It works very good. I have been playing it with it for the last couple of days and actually doing some like speed tests on it. You know what? Here's the first thing to just kind of realize. You're not buying this tablet because you want a high-end, like a flagship style tablet, right? It's just not what you're looking for. You're buying this, I would say you're using this more like a work tablet, right? Or you're getting it for the grandparents or someone who just wants a tablet because, the phone's too small. They can't look at it, so they just want something. You want to get it for the kids. This is great because, again, it's heavy. It's got some weight to it for sure. But the fact is it's got, all this like drop proofing on it, which is fantastic. And you know what? It runs good. Like it's smooth. It's not too bad. I actually have, as you can see inside here, you can actually go in. I actually have the actual extra 20, right? The extra 12, right? You'll see memory expansion. So I have the enable mega RAM, right? So this one has the ability 6, 8, or 12 gigs. So I put it at full. Why not? Going through and playing like YouTube videos and things like that is fine. I can go in here. Let's see if I can play an actual YouTube video just so you guys can see it, right? Oh, there we go. YouTube. Allow. But I was playing some stuff. Beekeeper 2. I don't even know if this is real, whatever, right? But there's a little video. Full screen it. Turn it on its side here, of course. It looks nice and clean. Yeah, you know what? It plays good. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, now if you are wanting to play like high-end games and things like this, I'd probably say, maybe not the bestest for you. It'll play, you know, puzzle games, of course, stuff like that. It'll play some like arcade style games. Um, Even the previous one I reviewed was the R9 Pro, and same idea. It had no problems playing games like even like Diablo and things like that. Yeah, no issues. It played it just fine. So that's okay. And you'll notice even on here for me, most of the apps that I actually have are not apps that are going to be uh, graphic intensive gaming, things like that, you know? So I brought up some notes somewhere on one of my phones here because notes are important. I wanted to kind of go through some of the info in regards to this because, you know, notes. First off, before we even get into the technical specs, I actually they make the R9 as well, which is I have the R9 here, and this is the R9 again. I've used this for a couple of months actually, and they are very, very, very comparable in their speeds. Now, the big difference, of course, is that you can see size-wise, the R9 is bigger, right? It is a bigger. So I believe it comes in closer to the 11-inch size. So if that's something that's important, price point, they're all really close to each other. So, you know, I wouldn't even be too concerned over that. They also have that ability to have the expanded memory if you want to do that. Both of these are 256 gig models. So that's good. You shouldn't have any kind of issues with that. Cameras and all that, again, really, really similar to each other. So I don't think, you know, in regards to these, the big ones really are going to be size. Because I did some benchmarking on them, and we'll just kind of talk about those real fast. So in Geekbench, single core CPU on this one did 391. Single core on the R9, 388. So 3 difference. Multi-core, the R10, 1356. But the R9 actually got faster in Geekbench at 1371. So then it went faster that way, right? 3D Mark, you're looking at, let's see if I can find it here. A bit of a difference as well with 3D Mark. So 429 actually on the R9, 429 versus 434 on this one. So again, that one a little faster with 3D Mark. And then last but not least, I did Antutu. And Antutu, again, kind of said that the R9 was faster. Seems weird that this one is a little slower, the newer one, than the old one. So the R10, which was this one, actually came out at 260,898. And then the R9, 287,944. So I would say, you know, there's certain aspects that this one may be a little faster in, and then certain aspects that this one may be a little faster, but they are really, really, really close to each other. So I don't think really in regards to the two of them, you're going to see really any kind of difference in regards to actual performance of the two machines. They're going to perform pretty much identical to each other. You really just have to look at things like screen size, right? Screen size is a big one. So let's delve again a little bit more into, we'll take the R9 away from here, guys. I have an R9 video. You guys can watch that. But anyways, if you look at this, like under the hood, the R10 Pro is running the Unisoc T616 octa-core processor, paired again with that 8 gigs of RAM, and expandable up to 20. It does have, mine came with 256 gigs of storage, which can be expanded via the micro SD card up to, I believe, 1 terabyte. So good solid combination for, again, I would say for like basic multitasking, any kind of like media consumption, again, so watching YouTube videos, watching the Netflix, going on social media, things like that, right? As well as, of course, I want to say, light gaming for sure, medium gaming possibly, depending on the kind of resources. It does have a really nice 10.1-inch screen. It's a full HD IPS display, which is great again for watching videos. You're not going to get that OLED quality, but again, you got to look at the price point, right? You're not paying $700-800, $1,000, right? You're paying considerably less. For cameras, again, we have those. I think it was 13 megapixels. Got to get my sheet up here, right? Yeah, 13 megapixels for the rear and a 5 megapixel. Is it 5? So yeah, you're getting a 13 megapixel for the rear and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. Both are fine. They're good enough for, I would say, things like, taking video calls, scanning documents. Is it going to replace probably your phone's camera? No, I wouldn't say so, but it's okay. Even it can do video. It's fine, especially if the camera's stationary, where it's not a lot of movement, because it's not going to have any kind of optical video stabilizer or image stabilizer or anything like that. It's got a really nice size battery in it, so that's a big win. You should have no problems getting a full day of usage out of this. And if you're just watching, YouTube, Netflix, you're taking this on a trip, you should be able to charge this in the morning and pretty much last, the whole day. Plus, charging speed is adequate, right? So you should have no problems charging this up. Now, it is a big battery, and because of that, just realize that it can take a little bit more time, but the benefit of that is that when it's not on a charger, it's going to last, I would say, a day for sure, if not even more. Who's this tablet actually for? I would say if you're looking for an affordable Android tablet, and again, your primary concerns, the reason you're wanting it is for the kids, the grandchildren, you want something that's maybe business purposes, again, with light gaming, and something that's got a lot of ruggedness to it, then I think this is going to be really good. It's a strong contender, right? Because a lot of people, even for me, I have an iPad. Uh, do I use it a lot? No, I use it when I need a bigger screen. Do I even need the power that the iPad gives me? No, I just really don't use it enough to warrant that kind of power. Nice to have, sure. But honestly, I think when I travel, just because I know this is going to be a lot more durable, I would say. And I'll be honest, for the fact that it costs less, if something were to happen, I wouldn't feel as bad. So there's something to be said, about a budget tablet that's built as solidly as this, just for that peace of mind, knowing that if something does happen, you're not going to cry, because you'd cry, right? Now, if you are expecting, let's say, to replace your laptop, or you're into higher end gaming, you want to do some video editing on here, you want to do some photo editing, you want to do stuff that's way more graphic intensive, then I definitely say that you may want to just look somewhere else, right? The chipset here, it just isn't designed for demanding workloads. And if this thing gets pushed, that's when you're going to notice it. But again, that's when you and I probably want to start looking at something more flagshipy. So for instance, I'll give you a for instance. Again, I have an iPad, not a new iPad, an older iPad, but I run programs like Insta360 on my iPad, and I've actually put it on here. It functions on here way slower on here. So if I was going to be working with that, I would definitely bring up my iPad, or I would definitely bring my computer with me, right? Just because I know time becomes a big deal, and I really just don't want to wait. Also, I would say too, if you're into, let's say, long-term software updates, you may not get them quite as frequently. Now, if it's a Google Play Store software update, then of course you're going to get them. But actual system software updates, I just don't know. They have come. I have gotten some on the R9. When I got this out of the box, there were some system updates available for it. So I'm not going to say they don't come. I'm just going to say they may just take a little bit more time. Anyways, I think for the price point, a very good contender. I actually like the size. The R9, like I showed you, it's a tad bit bigger, right? Tad bit bigger. And it's also heavier because of that. So you really have to kind of look at those two. I think, again, for travel, I would probably pick the lighter one, so the R10. But if you're someone this is going to be maybe your only tablet and you want something bigger, then it's not a horrible thing to look at the R9 as well. And you can check out the channel for the R9 video. All right, guys, I'm going to leave links to Hotwave's website where you can pick one of these up. And that's it. I'm out. Links down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys next video. Later.